Yo guys, welcome back to the final PSGL video of season 35 on my channel. Today we have the final round of the season, which is round 11 in Bahrain, and in the last round we lost out on the championship to Patrick, which is fair enough. I wasn't on the pace, he had the pace all season. He deserved to win it, it is what it is. But now in this round it is all about the constructors fight we are in with Aston Martin for the championship. And luckily for us, me and Jamie in the Mercedes, we're not too far behind Aston, but it's lucky for us that Patrick is the only Aston Martin racing in this, because you can see in the top right we only have 10 racers. There are only 10 people in this round, which is just poor attendance, and it is what it is at the end of the day. But it's a good chance for us with two Mercs taking on one Aston to gain enough points and win the Constructors. And if you remember on to the last video, I ended up spinning out and colliding with Blackberry Hall, and that was basically what ended my championship hopes. I ended up getting a 5-second penalty for that, and because I retired in the last race, I'm finishing this race with a 5-second penalty. So we have to finish at least 5 seconds ahead of Patrick, and then have Jamie finish like a place behind him, or 1 or 2 places behind him, to then get enough points to win. It's a tough ask, considering Bahrain is not one of my strongest tracks. It's going to be a tough one. But you've been seeing in the background our final lap of qualifying. We're 3 tenths up, Patrick goes fastest with a 28.3. We're 3 tenths up on our run that put us P3 in the banker lap. Going through the last corner now, trying to use as much as the track on exit as we can, just barely avoiding track limits. We're 4 tenths up, going up to the line. Is it enough for pole? It is not. We are 500ths, we're 500ths away from Patrick on pole. And of course Patrick got pole, right? He's just rapid. It's just crazy. But we are P2, which is a good sign going into the race. But ultimately, if Patrick finishes ahead of both of us in the Mercedes, it's not going to be good, and he's definitely wrapped up the championship easily. Jamie qualifies P4, meaning that we are in a great chance to go on and win this championship. I'm looking just to get some redemption, getting the constructors as redemption for missing out on the drivers. But we are going to go with a hard medium strategy. This strategy it's interesting, because up ahead we have Patrick on the mediums, 2 cars behind us also on the mediums. We're on the slower compound, it's 5 red lights, and we are away. We get a poor start compared to Blackberry Hall and our teammate Jamie. Patrick's already pulling away. We're going to keep up the inside. No one's sending up the inside. Side by side with Blackberry Hall, going through turns 1 and 2. We try and get on the power as much as we can, using as much curb as we can. But it's looking like Blackberry Hall's going to be getting the position. So we're going to try and back out. We're going to let him go, and we're going to let our teammate Jamie go round the outside. And we are just going to back off and let him go. We're not going to fight him, because there's no point. We need to play the team game. And we need to try and catch up to Patrick already, who is already off in first. He's not leaving, like he's not ahead in the DRS as Jamie has a massive snap. But he's not just pulling away, but he's enough ahead where this is going to be a problem. As Blackberry Hall goes very deep into the long downhill left-hander. And it's looking like Jamie's going to be going for a move here. He's had a poor exit, but he's not going to go for the move just yet. Keeping it behind, he's going to try and keep in the DRS train, but Blackberry Hall is struggling right now, which is a good sign for us, because he's on our faster tyres. He's on a quicker compound than us. But if there's not an early safety car or a safety car at all in this race, we are on the better strategy and theoretically should have an advantage over the medium runners right now. Jamie pulls out the DRS, lap 1 pretty much done, but everyone ahead seems to be struggling a little bit on the medium tyres. Jamie runs off and probably picks up a warning for that, which isn't ideal, especially on lap 1. But Patrick keeps the lead, it's all going well. Blackberry Hall's going for a move into turn 1 on Patrick. He sends up the inside, gets through, Patrick's exit's compromised, they're still going side by side. Jamie's looking to get involved now. He almost gets swiped. Patrick staying in the slipstream, he's moving to the inside. Is he going to send the move? No, he's not. He's going to sit back, he's not going to risk a move into that corner. But this is perfect for us, because they're holding each other up. Jamie goes a little bit wide, but it's okay. but they're holding each other up, which is crucial for me and Jamie to have a chance, because if one of us finishes ahead of him, it should be okay. Like, we should be okay if we're all somewhat close together. The Constructors is looking wrapped up. I missed the apex completely there. I'm starting to struggle a little bit on the hard compound tyres. DRS is open this lap. We're using a bit of ERS to stay close. Is Jamie going to be going for a move? I'm just looking ahead to see if any moves are going on. No, Patrick fakes a move to the inside of Blackberry Hall for P1. He has a massive snap and there's contact. Patrick is spun around. He has a massive rear lock. We somehow don't get damage from hitting the back of Jamie just there. And Patrick is spun around and is now, if you look on the minimap, right at the back. And this is massive. This is insane. I'm thinking right now that the championship's all but wrapped up at this point, because Patrick locked the rears going into turn 1. He spun himself. Jamie unfortunately picked up some damage, but Patrick just ruined it for himself on the on the third lap. But it's looking great for us right now. We move on to lap 7, nothing happens. The running order stays the exact same, but we have managed to close up to Blackberry Hall in front. We're just about on the brink of DRS at this point. We're going to be pushing through this middle sector. As he runs wide, he gets an awful corner, and we are now into the DRS. And this is huge. On the minimap, Patrick is now caught up to the little train at the back of the pack. But it's looking promising, considering I do have the 5 seconds I'm going to need to serve in this race. It's massive. Staying on lap 7 now, just showing how much we managed to pull in on the same lap we got into DRS on. Blackberry Hall struggling on the mediums. They're starting to lose a bit of wear right now. We're right behind. We're going to use our DRS. We're not going to use any ERS. We're going to just move to the inside and try and get him cleared, and then we're going to move back over to the racing line, getting the move done way before I needed to. But it's just, this is going to lose us the least amount of time. Going to need to try and defend from him now, because he is obviously going to get DRS after we overtook him. But we are managing to stay ahead. Roger Well retires from the session. He got spun around and he decided that his race was done. So now there's left with 9 runners in a competitive PSGL race. As we miss the apex massively, we go off the track, but we try and avoid a penalty or a warning, which we do, as Chizzy now overtakes us, because we have moved a few laps ahead and Blackberry Hall has just fallen off. The hard tyres are now much better, as you can see in the top 3 now. It's all hard runners. So it's looking like the fight for the win is going to be between me, Chizzy and Norman. As we get a poor exit onto the second DRS straight, we're going to use some of our battery here just to make sure that we aren't going to drop down to P3. And we do stay in P2. Manage to defend well. And we're just going to be looking to get our head down. Moving 5 laps ahead onto lap 15. Chizzy still in the lead, we're still following. I decided to stay out 1 lap later than most people, because you can see Norman has boxed 20 seconds behind. He boxed a few laps earlier, which is a very risky game to play. But we are just going to be boxing this lap. This is going to be our time. Going 15 laps on the hards to then go 13 laps on the mediums. We're going to have a faster compound towards the end. Me and Chizzy both decide to box. And will we get a speeding penalty? No, we won't. So we're boxing fine. Jamie is 26 seconds behind. He started on the alternate strategy. We did decide that we should go on alternate strategies just to cover off all options for Patrick. So maybe one of us is still able to finish ahead on an alternate strategy. Out the pits, Chizzy has gained quite a lot to us, because we did brake pretty early going into the pits. So we are going to be out of DRS already, which is, it's on me. I did take it a bit overly cautious going into the pits. But we're going to be seeing if we can use as much of our battery as we can. And we only have 16% left, but we are going to be pushing to stay in the DRS throughout the middle sector. So that's why I'm not cutting away just yet. But are we going to be able to push in? We just need to push as hard as we can. As I'm saying that, we do miss an apex. But you can see as the delta in the top left, we are close. It's 1.2 seconds. But it's looking like we've just missed out on DRS, which is a massive hit to our race. We're looking to make progress. We're looking to go and push ahead with Chizzy to catch up to Norman. And it's just not been done, really. On to lap 21, a few laps later, nothing happens. Patrick is 8 seconds behind in P5, and we are on the faster tyres, so we are going to be pulling away as much as we can. But on the back straight, we have used all of our battery at this point, and we are going to be in DRS for the next straight, as Chizzy has made the move on Norman. Norman's tyres have just fallen off massively. He just hasn't been able to keep them up to the temperature, or up to the reduced wear that he would have wanted to, because he boxed like 2 laps earlier than he should have, being on the hards. It probably would have been a better strategy for him to have started on the mediums at that point. But on the minimap, it's just a massive difference. There's 8 seconds between the front leading train of me, Chizzy and Norman to everyone else. I think that's Blackberry Hall all the way at the back. I think he had a spun or picked up some damage. So it's unfortunate for him, considering he was leading the race for a good few laps at the start. But we're just going to have to lock in, and as I'm saying that, we get an awful snap, and we just lose a lot of time. We are forcing us to use more ERS. And up ahead, you can see that Chizzy and Norman aren't flashing, so we are in a much worse position here, and it's going to take a miracle to get the win today, or maybe even a P2. It's looking like we're just going to be stuck because we don't have a battery to have fun with. It's just a bit over. We are using all of our battery now to see if we can force a move on Norman, or Norman on Chizzy. As Norman's looking like he's going to make a move, he decides to stick behind for the next DRS zone and look to make a move there. Chizzy gets a much worse exit than Norman. His line's compromised. He is going to be using DRS. And is he going to get close enough? It doesn't look like he's getting close enough. He's looking to the inside, seeing if Chizzy will defend it. He doesn't, because there's no need to. But looking in the top left now, the delta between myself and Patrick is 10 seconds, and in that train, just behind Patrick, is Jamie, our teammate. So if we stay in P3, Patrick finishes 4th, and then Jamie is managing to get 5th, then we have wrapped up the championship. Lap 25 now, going on to the start of lap 26. The gap's 11 seconds to Patrick. He is losing so much time squabbling with everyone behind. We are going to be using, again, more of our ERS, which we probably shouldn't have. We realistically should have saved it all for the last lap. I don't really know why I'm going down to 0%. We're going to look to the inside. Nothing's going to happen, though. We're too far back. We'd end up just punting him out the way and getting a penalty. We can't risk anything right now because I'm seeing myself in a good position. I think that being in P3 with a more than comfortable gap to Patrick behind is huge. Jamie is sitting in P6 currently. So if he on the last lap can get up into P5, then we have wrapped up the championship. You may be finding it a bit difficult to understand or keep track of what I'm saying with the championship, because I didn't take a screenshot of the championship standings of the constructors, and because I'm recording this video like 3 weeks after the race happened, it's now a new season of PSGL, and the standings have been removed and replaced with the new seasons. The round 1 of the new season, Australia I should say, will be up probably next week. I did just race that 2 days ago. New season, we're now in F8, which is the highest assist tier because I'm not able to race on Mondays, so I didn't go for no assists just yet. Second last lap of the race now. I'll talk a bit more about that at the end of the race. But it is the second last lap, the penultimate lap, and right now, as it stands, Patrick is down in P5 and Wombat is in P4. Jamie's just sitting pretty behind him in P6, and we are going to be using our minuscule amount of ERS to try and launch an attack. But as you can see, Norman's just pulled away. He's using his ERS. He definitely has like 90% at this point, and he is almost definitely going to be going for a move into turn 1. Chizzy tries to break the slipstream, defends massively, and I'm saying to myself, I need them to crash, because I'm so far behind right now just because I don't have any ERS to use. Norman's getting so close to Chizzy, practically pushing him through turns 1 and 2. He's going to be using his DRS. Is he going to be able to put a move up the inside into turns 4? He's going to the outside. He's going to try and get a better exit. He's keeping all the pressure on Chizzy. They are both flashing at this point, so they're in the same boat as me, but I'm too far behind now that it's not going to matter. However, if you draw your attention to the top left, Patrick is in P4, and Jamie was just briefly in P5. As you can see, he's back up into P5. If he's able to keep this position, the championship's won. I'm thinking to myself, this race is gone. I'm settling for P3. No point doing anything stupid. But can Patrick get overtaken by Jamie? Can Jamie do the impossible and beat Patrick. He's looking like he can. He's pressuring it into the downhill left. It's so close at this point. Jamie is a tenth or two behind. He's going to be pushing his ERS, just seeing if he can force Patrick into a mistake. I wish I had his POV right now, but he's picked up a 3-second penalty, and that's going to instantly ruin it, because we did have the championship wrapped up completely. But even if Jamie finishes in P5 as he does now, with that 3 seconds he's picked up, with few corners to go, he is going to drop behind, 3 cars behind. And we finished P3. But over the line, you see Patrick, you see Jamie, we're going to go on board with him. But the 3 seconds, no one else behind him has penalties, and he's going to drop down to P8. And it's just heartbreaking, because after losing the championship, as we did last time, with the Drivers' Championship, we now finish P3 and P8, and that just isn't enough. In the end, we ended up losing out on the championship in the Constructors by a singular point. And it's disappointing. And yeah, I mean, even if we managed to finish P2 in that race, it really does not matter because we had the 5 seconds. P3 was the maximum today. Jamie just unfortunately picked up the penalty, and we ended up losing out on the Constructors by a singular point. It's a heartbreaking end to the season, considering we raced so well. But yeah, we're going to be on to Australia within the next week. Round 1 in PSGL PS F8. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.